Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Neat here, and in this video I'm going to be giving you guys my review of Apple's new iPad. So I've had my hands on this tablet for a little over 2 weeks now, and I'm ready to let you guys know what I think of Apple's latest iOS device. So before we get into the review, let me give you guys a quick rundown of the technical specifications. So this device is 9.5 inches tall with a width of 7.31 inches. It then has a depth of 0.37 inches. The device itself weighs 1.44 pounds for the Wi-Fi only model, or 1.46 pounds for the Wi-Fi plus 4G LTE model. The device still has that same 9.7 inch diagonally measured screen with a resolution of 2048 by 1536, so that will give you 264 pixels per inch. On the inside, it's powered by an A5X chip as well as a gigabyte of RAM. Furthermore, this device has a 5 megapixel iSight camera, which is the same as the rear-facing camera, which is also capable of taking 1080p full HD video at 30 frames per second. On the front then, there is a FaceTime camera, which is VGA quality with photos, and it can take videos up to 30 frames per second. The battery is a 42.5 watt-hour rechargeable lithium polymer battery, and it's also supporting Bluetooth 4.0, and last but not least, it's got compatibility with 4G LTE on AT&T or Verizon's network here in the United States. So taking a look at the new iPad itself, it's got the exact same design as the iPad 2. The only difference is it has an increased weight of 0.11 pounds and an increased thickness of 0.03 inches. So those are very minuscule numbers, and I don't think most people are going to be able to tell the difference unless they compare these two tablets side by side. So the most prominent new feature is the high-resolution Retina display, which is packing 264 pixels per inch. Now, you can't really appreciate what Apple has done with this display by watching this video. The only way to really see how great things look on this new tablet is by checking it out yourself at a local electronics store. So with this increased pixel density, text looks extremely sharp. You can see here as I zoom into the New York Times text here, you cannot distinguish the individual pixels. This is also then going to translate over to Apple's iBooks application, which is going to make reading books a much more pleasurable experience. The Retina display is also going to have no problem whatsoever playing high definition videos. Next up, I want to talk about performance on the new iPad, which is powered by Apple's A5X chip. Now, I wanted to explain the difference between the A5X and the A5 chip found in the iPad 2. And the only difference is the A5X supports quad-core graphics, while the A5 only supports dual-core graphics. Now, these additional 2 cores of graphics don't give the new iPad better performance than the iPad 2. Those additional cores of graphics are just there to help support the new Retina display, and it ensures that you won't see any sort of lag when using really intensive applications such as games. But nonetheless, you'll still see that the A5X chip is insanely fast, just as the A5 chip was. You'll see I have no problem switching between the applications that I have open in my multitasking tray. Unfortunately, the new A5X chip won't have Siri support, but it does support dictation, which will allow you to translate your speech into text on the new iPad. Now, as I stated before, the A5X won't give you really any better performance than the A5, but it does ensure that you will get great gaming performance with the new high-resolution Retina display, and you won't see any sort of lag. Next up, I'll talk about the new iPad's rear-facing 5 megapixel camera, and here's a photo that I was able to take, and you'll see here that the colors look very vibrant, and I'm very happy with the performance of the new iPad's cameras, and for the most part, it's going to give you the exact same picture quality that you would have seen with the iPhone 4's 5 megapixel camera. So this is a really great improvement over the cameras that we would have seen with the iPad 2, which took some pretty horrible photos, but once again, I'm not really sure how many people are going to use their iPad to take photos, since it's kind of an awkward experience. Also, here's a look at the 1080p video recording at 30 frames per second. Now, I really would have liked to see Apple upgrade the front-facing camera from VGA to something like 720p HD, because I know a lot of people use it for FaceTime and Skype video chatting, and the VGA quality doesn't really make it a good experience. Lastly, then I'll talk about 4G LTE on the new iPad. So I picked up the Verizon model, and I'm seeing some insanely fast speeds, usually between 14 and 20 on the download side, and between 1 and 5 on the upload side. So some really good speeds, and I'm very pleased with that performance. Now, 4G LTE has been available on Android devices for around a year now, but what separates the new iPad from these devices is that battery life lasts for 9 hours on 4G LTE connectivity. So that's really great performance there, so that your battery will last pretty much the entire day. And also, I just wanted to make a side note that I have seen over 10 hours. I was actually getting around 12 hours of battery life, so that's better than what Apple even claims with the new iPad. So all in all, the new iPad is a very solid tablet with a high resolution display, great performance, much better cameras, and 4G LTE support. Now, if you've got an iPad 2, it's pretty hard to justify the upgrade to the new iPad because unless you take photos and you need 4G LTE support, you're really only getting a higher resolution display. So I would recommend just holding on to your iPad 2 because the display on there is no slouch whatsoever. If you're coming from the original iPad, I would definitely say go for it. You're going to see a lot of benefits by upgrading to the new iPad. Or if you're coming from maybe a cheaper tablet out on the market there like the Kindle Fire, I also think you're going to be very pleased with the new iPad. So that's my review of this tablet. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like it, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.